You've all been asking me, how about a 29-inch front wheel? Well, let's find out. And let me know in the comments, what bike do you want to set up with a mullet?
A big thanks to my sponsors, Ibis Cycles, Kitspo Cycling Apparel, Cali Protectives, Trust Performance, PNW Components, WTB, Industry 9, Shimano, and Jensen USA. Any purchases from the below links at Jensen USA will directly help support my channel as well.
Hey there, my name's Jeff Kendall-Weed. I'm a professional mountain biker and I've worked in the bike industry for over 10 years. If you're new to this channel, I'm all about growing the sport of mountain biking by highlighting successful advocacy groups with fun stories, have a link to that playlist right up here in the YouTube card. Now today's video is quite different than that because we're gonna try a fun Franken-bike experiment. Today's video was made possible thanks to the fine folks at Jensen USA. They believe strongly in what I'm doing and in the content I produce, so big thanks to Jensen. And I wanna mention, I've got links in the YouTube description below, not only to the Ibis HD5, but to the different wheels and forks you could use if you're gonna try to mulletize some kind of a bike on your own. I wanna thank all of you for the comments, the messages on Instagram, here on YouTube, even on Facebook and Pink Bike. I've been getting a ton of feedback of folks curious what the 29-inch setup would feel like on the 27.5 HD5. Basically, it'd be a mullet. If you're like most people, you're probably wondering, what the heck is a mullet bike? Well, that means that you swap out the front wheel of your 27.5 bike for a larger 29-inch diameter wheel. Okay, 64 head angle, and then the seat tube, 71. Bottom bracket height, right around 345 millimeters. 64, 71. Let's see how those numbers change with the bigger front wheel. Put this aside for just a minute. I got my 29-inch front wheel. It uses a tire I'm very familiar with. This right here is my Ripley. This is a really fun bike, and the front wheel is virtually identical to the front wheel that's on the HD5. This bike, as it sits, uses a Trust Shout fork, which has a massive axle to crown. I'm gonna also swap the fork over to the Trust Message. Conveniently, I just so have that fork on my workbench. The Message is similar to the Shout, but it has a lot less travel. It's only 130, the Shout's 180, and it's a much shorter axle to crown. And as the wheel gets bigger, the 29-inch wheel, that's gonna equal out, and I'm actually gonna get very close to stock geometry on the HD5 with that new 29-inch wheel, but using the small fork. Before riding this setup, I wanted to understand exactly how it was different than the stock setup. So that Trust Shout fork measures 580 mils axle to crown, and the front wheel has a 355 mil radius. Now with the trigonometry we learned in high school, we know that the sine of the head tube angle multiplied by that axle to crown length of the fork will equal the distance of the head tube to the wheel center line. Adding that to the radius equals the front end height, which in this case is a whopping 876 millimeters. This does mean that I've been riding a bike that's 18 millimeters taller than the stock configuration. This right here is a pretty crucial part of this whole process. We can compare the two forks for a brief moment. That's the Shout, that's the Message. You'll notice the Shout is a lot longer than the Message. So the bike's gonna have a much lower front end, but the big tire is gonna raise it back up. Why am I doing this to my poor bike? It rode so good with the 27.5 setup. Kind of Captain America themed. The red rear wheel grips, blue front wheel. I just need a white saddle now. 65. Ooh, 1 or 2 degrees steeper on the seat angle. 65 head angle, 73 seat tube angle. That sounds pretty good. Let's check bottom bracket height. 340. Let's do the same math, but with this new mullet setup. The Trust Message is only 535 mils long, and the 29-inch wheel I'm using has a 380 millimeter radius. So we're gonna do the same sine of the head tube angle. In this case, it's a 65 instead of a 64. Multiplied by 535, that equals 485 mils. So to add 485 and 380, we have a new front end height of 865 millimeters. And that's only 7 mils taller than the stock setup. I guess I'm excited to give this a rip. I really hope that it's not way better because I don't want to ride a mullet bike. So there we go, guys. First ride with the Mullet setup, short travel trust message fork in front, and a 29-inch front wheel on my otherwise 27.5 Ibis Mojo HD5. That's a mouthful. Initial ride reports from one whopping ride is that in the tight, janky stuff, it's kind of cumbersome and not much of an advantage. Makes it harder to handle the bike, harder to be precise with where I'm going to set it.
More slippery than it looks.
Forget any speed. When the trail opens up and it's faster, there is some more stability. Now, I prefer to ride long travel on this bike with 27.5 wheels front and rear. To me, it'd feel more balanced, and for the type of style I have, where I jump a lot and play with the bike a lot, it would be more nimble and more confident on the big landings. This is just my experience. If you do want to try a Mullet Bike setup, I want to mention that one of my sponsors, Jensen USA, is a wonderful mail order resource. You can give them a phone call and get some great input on what setup would work the best for you. And I have links in the description below over to Jensen. I hope you guys enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed putting this video together for you. Now, I promise to continue riding the Mullet setup over the next few months here, and I'll do an update video with more detail as I have more experience. Now, if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button below. I've got content like this coming out weekly. Let me know in the comments, what kind of bike do you want to try set up like a Mullet? Thanks for watching. It's been a joy hanging out, and I'll see you guys on the trails. I was about 4 pedal strokes shy of getting enough speed. I don't know if I need to be in an easy gear to like pedal at the top of that, or a high gear to like go fast into it. I have to try it both ways. I want my clipless pedals.
You can ride my bike.
So I gotta be boogieing up this.
Yeah.
Way faster. Gosh, that's a big hop.
Ooh.
Better. Not quite it. Maybe a 27.5 front wheel would make it easier, because the front wheel would be that much closer to the top of the hill. Kind of caught a pedal there.
Yeah.
Whew.